Hey, Crawford Cougars, welcome back. Yes, I'm doing this as intro for this next semester. For some of you all, it's 9 weeks. We got some new students to the class. We got some older students that have worked in the class. So we'll do a lot of group work. But I've got some expectations I want to go over to make sure that everybody is on the same page so we can be efficient in class and have a great rest of the year each and every day. Make sure we're prepared and do what we need to do. We're going to have a lot of fun doing some things. We'll be in the hallway doing some video. We're going to do some audio. We're going to work on some music. We'll work with some iPads and some things like that. And everybody will have a chance to add to our live news broadcast. So I'm counting on everybody to kick in, whether it be eighth grade, seventh grade, and/or sixth grade. Got a lot of new sixth grade students this semester, so I'm working with you, and you're going to work with me. We're going to grow together, and I will hope you have a great semester. All right, so let's talk seating as it appears here on the screen. If you notice, you have multiple numbers, and so I'm going to explain what those numbers mean and how we can get more out of this class. So basically, if you notice the blue numbers, the 1 and 2 and 2, those are table numbers. So it's like table 1, table 2, table 3, table 4, table 5, so on and so forth. The black numbers on the top are the locations at that table. So, for example, the small number 1 and the small number 2 at table 1, you will notice that the individual set at that location listed on that table. So, for example, if I am listed here at table 2 and seat number 4, then you notice that situation. If I am at table 7, where it says 7 and 7, and I am at number 13, then I'm setting on the left side. And if I'm 14, I'm sitting on the right. If you notice on the bottom, you have our learning targets. For example, a learning target will be we are working with Adobe Photoshop for the yearbook for the purpose of design and to implement for the yearbook using lighting techniques, and so on and so forth, and some of that other stuff that we talk about. I can statements are things like I can log into Photoshop. I can work in a group using depth of field with my still images. Just things like that I want you all to start learning more so you can get more out of it in the class. And so this is our seating assignment and our seating chart. Now, the way I've got the seats set up will be different at different times, but I just wanted everybody to be aware of how we're doing it. And so right here, you see a little rubric that I have that I kind of made for myself to kind of keep us focused. So we're going to start off with the seating. So these are expectations that I've got. You notice I've already got a little typo, McGuire class. I need to put another S there. So I'm sure somebody's going to say something about that. That's on me. Anyway, CMS, commit to learning, make responsible choices, and show kindness. So here's where our seating is going to be. We'll be in groups at times or we'll work at individual times. That's when we commit to learning. When we're in groups, you commit to learning by working together. You're not always going to want to be in the same group. You're going to work with different people based on people's different skill sets. Some people are better at videography, editing. Some people are better being in front of the camera. Some people are better being behind the camera. Some people like making music. Some people like working with the iPad. Some people don't like talking at all. So everybody's got a place to fit in. Okay. The key is we're going to learn together and grow together. Okay. So we're going to commit to learning by staying in our seat, staying in our location, regardless of what that is. Okay. Make responsible choices. Make sure that you stay in your seat and your area and do not roam the class. One thing that we've had an issue with is because the room is so big that students want to roam the class. Let's not try to roam the class. We don't want to roam the class. We want to stay where we're supposed to be. There's going to be times we're going to have to work and get up and work with other people. I'm going to identify when those times are. For example, you've got some students that'll be working on the PCs on the yearbook, or some students working in the sound room, or some students working in the green room for the news. Some students working, with the green screen, in the green square, or over by my desk in the blue square. So that being said, you'll have to move around a little bit. Okay, that's why I've got the big room and I like it. However, if we're working at an individual basis, you don't need to be moving around. Okay. And that's going to minimize wasted time. Make responsible choices and show kindness in groups or your seat. Be respectful of others. If there's somebody you're working with and you don't like who they are, you absolutely can't work with them no matter what. We'll figure something out. But here's the deal, you're always going to have to be in other people's groups. You're always going to have to work with other people. Sometimes you won't have an option, sometimes you won't have a choice. So let's work on that here because our main goal is to put out the best news we can, put out the best music we can, create some graphics, our design, and have a good time doing it. All right, let's talk about the big thing. Let's talk about grades. So this is an elective class. It's an exploratory class. You're exploring different things. I think that's great. Some people take it more serious. I'm going to tell you why my class is important. Every class that you take is important at Crawford. Every class that you take in the future is important. There's a lot of things that we do that will help you in every class. You have a project in social studies, guess what? You can edit better than another student because you've had my class, and video editing is very important. Content creation is very, very important. You want to wow the teacher and get a better grade, there you go. Communication in front of your peers is very important. I do a really good job trying to instill in my students communication is important. So the grades are mostly based on your work ethic. I don't expect everyone to be a great videographer, a photographer, video editor. Some people hate speaking in front of others, and I understand that. It's middle school. I get it. But we're going to try to do better and try to grow in that way. Okay. So when you commit to learning, let's look under grades. Grades will be given based on work as well as time on task. If a person is never working on a project, is never on task, how can you make the kind of grade you want? What kind of a message are you sending yourself to the mirror? You look in the mirror and you see yourself, you're thinking, I've got to do something. I got to work at it some way. If you don't like what you're doing, there's things you're not like in life. There's things that I didn't like in life, but I had to push through it. Forge ahead, do what you're supposed to do, commit to learning. If you work hard, you give it a shot, I'm going to take care of you, grades wise. Make responsible choices. Spend a little time will result in low grades. If you don't spend any time working on things, you're not going to be able to get it done in the last couple weeks before grades go out. We have midterm grades and we have 9-week grades. 8th grade, we have semester grades, and there's students that I have rolled over on media teams that will be working on the live news. You are not exempt from having those daily grades. I'm going to really be stringent on the amount of time you spend and the quality of time you spend. Okay. And then show kindness. We may help our peers at our seats on project at times. There's going to be times I'm going to place a student that's good at editing with a student that's not, regardless of who it is, because we're trying to improve that. Same with all the other techniques and concepts we do. Okay, and there's going to be times we'll have our tables setting in 4s and tables setting in 2s and things like that. Be willing to work with other students. Okay, so the grades are very important. I do want to tell you that grades will go out every week, and I'm going to communicate with parents, but I want to mostly communicate with you guys and gals to make sure you are aware of what you have. Which brings us to the next thing with our Chromebooks. So if you look at our Chromebooks, the Chromebook is vital each day to complete projects, commit to learning. If you don't have your Chromebook in hand, and I realize there's times that you will not have it. I realize there's times you won't have your Chromebook in hand because you left it at home. It's broken. There's an issue. Well, we've got one loaner. That's it. And I'm going to start, helping you all out with chargers and putting them at tables where you can charge a Chromebook because I'm going to need you all to have that every day because this is a technology class, guys and gals. We have to have our Chromebooks. Okay. Make responsible choices. Be responsible. Keep it charged. If you don't have it charged, your morning classes has no excuse. You should have it charged in the morning, right? You were given a Chromebook, you're given a charger. If you don't have a Chromebook and it's broken, Mr. Buchanan Mr. Buchanan will help you get another Chromebook. We'll get that in your hands quicker. It's not going to be a situation where you're going to leave your Chromebook in your 8th grade class, your 7th grade class, your 6th grade class. Bring it every single day, no matter what you're doing. If you're on the media team, you're working on your book or whatever the case may be, you need to make sure you bring your Chromebook, because just about everything we use software-wise in this class, you can use on your Chromebook, except for the Adobe Creative Cloud, and that's what the PCs and the iMacs are for. Okay. So, last but not least, show kindness. Use your Chromebook as it's meant and stay on task. Don't throw your Chromebook down on the ground. It's been given to you by the district because we're a one-to-one. So, I need everybody to be on point. I understand there's going to be some situations. If you're a student that never brings a Chromebook to class, if you're a student that never wants to bring the Chromebook with you, you don't ever have it charged, we'll fix that issue. Okay, we'll get with parents or whatever we need to do to make sure it's possible. If you've lost a Chromebook, we'll get the fines paid or whatever needs to be done. But you need to have a Chromebook so you can participate in what we're doing. All right, so we're going to skip equipment and come back to it because I want to do a little tour of the class. But we're going to go into entering and exiting the classroom. Okay, so commit to learning. Tardies have been an issue for certain individuals. Certain grade levels are worse than others, but we're going to do a lot better job this semester, this 9 weeks. Okay, you're required to be ready 3 minutes after the bell rings. So, for example, when the day starts at let's say you have my class at 9:05, which I don't have anybody in the morning, first period. 9:05 is when the class starts. Let's try to get started at 9:08. Okay, at 8 minutes is when you become tardy to class. Okay, 8 minutes. And then after that, it's when it becomes skipping and things like that. So we're going to work with the counselors and social workers and everybody else to ensure that you have your notes and all that stuff. And I know where you're at all times. Okay. Again, I know there's going to be issues where you're going to have to be running late. Just make sure you have a note when you come in. Okay. Also, by committing to learning, make sure that you, or if you're coming to another class, because sometimes our new students that are, like, for example, the students that are going live that week need a little bit extra time, please make sure you go to your class and you've cleared it with me first. Let's say you had my class 5th period, you want to come back 7th period. What you're going to do is you're going to go to your 7th period class. You're going to ask if you can come. You're going to get a note, a green pass, and you're going to bring it to me. That clears you. So don't ever assume that a teacher says, yes, that's okay, because I want to respect their time as they respect my time. Okay. So that's commit to learning. Make responsible choices. We're going to keep our area clean. I don't allow food in class. I don't want food in class. I'm going to really hold to that because I've had to do a lot of sweeping. We've had a lot of custodians be absent during this first semester, and I've done a lot of cleaning of my room, which I love, keeping a nice clean room because we got a lot of technology. And so, that just puts extra work on everybody else, and then the custodians that do come in and they have to mop and things like that. Let's keep that down to a very bare minimum. There will be some times where I'll say, okay, this is a special occasion. Yeah, we're going to do food today. Okay. Due to the mess it makes, it just makes it hard. And 9 times out of 10, students do not clean up after yourself. So you need to clean your area and throw your trash away. Don't use having trash in your hand as a way to get up. You have to have permission to stand up. We're not going to unless it's an environment where you're working at multiple different places, then you need to stay seated. Honestly, you need to stay seated, and that's going to be the best for you because we really only have 52 minutes in class. Okay. Now, you're going to put your chair under or on top. So in this case, at the end of the day, you'll put your chair on top of the table. Okay. When you exit. After every class between 2nd period and 7th period, you'll put your chair underneath. And I don't want people moving chairs around. Sometimes you have people moving chairs to other tables. The chairs are where they need to be. Okay. I've spent a lot of time working on the environment and what I'm doing and what I'm teaching. So please don't be moving chairs around. There's 2 chairs per table, and that's it. Okay, if I want more than 4 people or more than 2 people to work together, I'll put 2 tables together so you can work in 4s. Okay, no chairs moving around. All right, you move a chair, it needs to go back, and then when you're sitting in, a certain chair, make sure you put it underneath the table. And then at the end of the day, you're going to put it on top of the desk. That's just respectful to, everybody there. And it makes it easier for us to clean the class. All right, guys, we're back. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to show you some software that we're using in class. So everybody needs to know how to get on the Adobe Express. This is to be used on your Chromebook, and there's some more advanced programs like Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Animate, Illustrator, InDesign, Premiere Pro, After Effects. There's some other programs we're going to use. Sixth grade, you're going to primarily use your Adobe Express. Then some of the sixth grade media team, we're going to start getting into the other programs. But the best way to do it here is go to Adobe Express in your Google search and click on this right here. Now, what I love about this program, you can do a whole lot of stuff with it. And it says get Adobe Express free. So we're going to click on that. And then it's going to go into Adobe Express. And then we'll do just some short how-tos. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and sign out, showing you how to log in using your school account. So continue with Google as always. Click on your email address for your school. And then as you get to that point, it'll log you in. Obviously, it's a company or school account. It's not a personal account. So log in it as you see there. And then from this point, now you have all the things you can do. There's a ton of stuff you can do here. I really like it. There's a couple quick actions here. Animate from audio, text to image. This is the one I really like a remove background. So sometimes we'll do that with our logos and things like that. Like if you notice down here, we made our daily news broadcast, so if like there's a background you want to remove, now you don't have to really go to remove BG. You can go to here and remove your background, upload your picture, and remove the background. So for example, and it timed out, but we don't really need to use that right now. So there's a lot of quick things. You can crop images and things like that. So one cool thing I really like about it is this is designed for all types of things: education, social media. You can use for video, if you want to do a short video, if you want to sell something, you want to market an ideas. Now there's a new one, the generative AI, that you can do. And that's pretty cool. I've used that before when I did AI voice. Instead of you all hearing my voice, I just use AI. It's pretty cool. So that being said, we do some cool stuff there. You can upload an image to start. So for example, I can drop this image in here, and you can do some cool stuff with it. So there's a whole lot of really cool things you can do. And the reason I like Adobe Express is because you can use it on your Chromebook. And that's my primary source of software that we use. If you want to do something quick, you want to drop a logo, you want to do everything you need to do for the news or for a project or for another class, it's the way to do it. It's really cool. I really like it a lot. So we'll use this quite a bit. So when I refer to Adobe Express, this is how you get in it. This is how you need to get in it. So now we got our AI here, and it's opening it up, and there's some things you can do with it. Text to image, there's, let me, if I wanted to do whatever I wanted to do, we upload from device. Let me put that in there again. And, there's Miss Buckner, Miss Buchanan, or excuse me, Mrs. Toole. So describe what you would like to see. I'll just say Merry Christmas. So again, there's some things you can do there. I'm going to get out of that. We'll move on to that. I'm going to go back to the A. That's the home. Now, once you start doing things, you go to your stuff, and that's how you find things. These are all the things that I made for our class, and different things. So that's this is where I made our Crawford yearbook. That's where I made some of our for our Canvas and things like that. So that is how you get into Adobe Express. The other one is Canva, canva.com. Again, another free software that you can use in the class. Same situation. I'm going to sign out, sign you back in. So it's just choose an account, pretty simple to do. Sign in. You got your Google account. You connect your Google account, and there it is. So one thing I want you all to understand is that, like, you don't have to. I'm going to have headphones for everybody, and that's why I want to do it like this, because some people learn quickly on certain things. Some people already know. So there's some really cool things here with Magic Studio. If you want to do some things, I mean, AI is going to be a huge, huge innovation that they're using. Now, when it says Pro, that means the district hasn't paid for the Pro version like it has Adobe Express. So, and Adobe Express, it's pretty much become free for everyone. I would think, as you see here, this is Fayette County. It's a Fayette County deal here, and it's a free account. So I would think in the future they might pay for that, because a lot of teachers do use that. So anyway, if you want to make a logo, let's say you want to make a logo for something that you're doing, a video you made in class, or something you want to do, there's free logos right there, that you can like customize a template and do all kinds of cool stuff. So there's really no reason why you can't quickly do something. I could come in here and just type in McGuire Media, you know, and then you can go Crawford, and then you leave it at that. Okay, and then you can share it, and then you can download it as a PNG as suggested. Now, the one thing I do like, you can't do a transparent background. It won't allow you to do that. So this is where you're going to need Adobe Express. Okay, so Adobe Express here, I'm going to go back to home. I've just downloaded it. I'm going to go to my quicks there. So I'm going to go remove BG, right? Because I want to remove that background. I want it to be a transparent logo. I don't want all that black behind it. So I want to do some things with it. That's not working for some reason. I don't know why. I'm using my phone as a hotspot right now, so that's probably one reason. Oh, there you go. So I'm going to go to my downloads, and I'm going to drop it in there, and then it should get rid of the background. Now I really don't love what it's done, but I'm going to open it in the editor and see what I can do with it. If I want to, I'm going to get rid of Miss Tool and Miss Buckner, and I can do some different things with it. I can make it smaller, whatever the case may be. So let's say, for example, I want to leave it there, and that's what I want to use. Then I'm going to download it, and that's what you see on a video file, like a YouTube icon or something like that. So that's the deal there. So you've got those two programs that we're definitely going to be using. Need to be able to get into those programs. Last program, for some reason, if you want to do something quick, it's called remove.bg. We will use that some. And that's just basically pull the background off. So let's say I want to do the same thing as I just did. I'm going to upload that image, and it does its magic. One thing I do like about that is it's separate from Adobe, but you can't do any kind of editing. You can't do any editing there. So you can create a design. And one thing it is pretty cool is it allows you to connect that to Canva. So there's all these things that are tied in with these softwares that you can use. So uh, it just takes just a little bit of creativity to do some cool stuff with what you're doing, and how you want to, morph things, how you want to design things, or whatever the case may be. So there are 3 different things that you can use that are very easy to use for your software, and to make things look better. So if I say, hey, you need to make a logo, you're going to use Adobe Express, you're going to use Canva. Hey, you need to pull the background off of your for your logo because you need a transparent background, then you're going to use one of those 3, or you can use remove BG. That works too. So that's some other stuff that we need to do, and we'll talk more about the equipment